So good morning, everyone. Welcome back to KVX 8001. This week's topic is conducting PhD research. But before we start with that, we have a few of our weekly presentations. Um, I have to say something, okay? I thought the assignment was quite clear to submit one slide, one single slide that you can present in 3 minutes. I get one with 6 slides. I get one contribution with 10 slides. We cannot really do this, okay? The assignment is 1 and 3 minutes. So it's not fair to other people if you hog so much more. For today, I will let it pass. But starting from next week, I will just ignore such contribution and ask you to present in another week, okay? So really, for this weekly presentation, one single slide, 3 minutes. Okay. But for now, unfortunately, we have a few more. So let's start with Wu Hao. Wu Hao, you're here?
Yeah,
Okay,
Professor.
please go ahead.
Okay, and hold on.
You can see the slides. No, the slides have gone. Where did they go?
Can you hear me? And can see my slide?
No. I'm sharing my slides. Nobody, you don't share your slides.
Oh, hmm? How how
Please,
about how about
please,
now?
no, please stop sharing your slide. I should
Okay,
not allow people to share slides. I'm sharing the slides, isn't it?
okay.
Uh, Let me change the setting then. Um, what is it? Okay, go ahead. Present your.
Okay, and so good morning, everyone. My name is Hao. Today I will present my research proposal titled Auto High Progress Digital D-electron resonator Anthony for partial discharge diagnostics in power asset and uh, yeah. And dielectron as not Anthony is a high permeator dielectron blocks that radiate by exciting for resonate models such as TETM and HEM modes because DRAs do not rely on the metallic surface for radiation. Conductor loss is significant reduce resulting high radiation efficiency even at a high frequency. So why do we focus on ultra high frequency band? The UHF band offer better penetration, longer sense range, and strong link budget compared with VHF or lower range. Those advantages make UHF particularly suitable for power system monitoring, industrial IoT, and long-range wireless sense application. In the context for partial discharge detection in gas, insulate line, and power transform, DRI offer unclear benefits compared to the size, no non-metallic radiator and high efficiency able better integration into metallic chamber and hash environment. And slide 3 and how professor is the next slide. Hmm? Yeah. However, design Anthony's, especially for PD, introduce structure, performance requirement. The Anthony must be detect very low energy PD, both inside the metallic enclosure. It should meeting broadband match to capture wideband impressive signal. It must be also be compact and conform to requirement surface while minimizing fail alarm due to understand mode behavior. And okay. My research targets for the following manual code. One is a meeting radiation efficiency about 17% will reduce Anthony value by at least 14%. Achieve signal mode operation with across polarization and level below 20 ensures factor bandwidth of that last 10% with S11 below 10 and 4 is a limiter with not the frequency drop to less than 0.5% under temperature and humidity variation. Design a compact or feed structure less than 0.05 lambda with stable marching performance. This motility keys will ensure the Anthony can meet real-world PD detection needs. And to achieve this objective, my work will proceed through this stage. First, I will extract detailed system requirement from existing literature and field stand. Next is operative radiation mode such as pure T or HEM modes will be selected to support the interface mode. Four-wheel electromagnetic simulation and operation will be employed to improve efficiency, bandwidth, and compactness. Then physical prototype will be measured for UHF testing. Finally, the Anthony's PD detection performance will be validated in GIS or GIL chamber, including whose detection sensitivity and the time of localization compatibility, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right, so now you see why you need to make one slide, then
Yeah.
it avoids me from having to flip around. If I look at your, let's see first, your title, ultra high frequency dielectric resonator for antennas, resonator antennas for PD diagnostics and power assets. Okay, so if we look at your research objectives, they're all very specific, right? Which is good, but they seem more like design requirements than research objective, right? You want to maintain efficiency 70%, achieve single mode operation with minus 20 dB, full bandwidth minus 10 dB. It's design requirements. So when you're going to present this as a PhD research, the question will be what is the novelty? What did you change? What could not be done before? What's your change to reach these objectives? You understand my
Uh,
question?
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
because I have a discussion with my supervisor, and I just start to lecture review, and
Mhm.
I so I don't have another for the equipment for this objective. So I just have I just know from the literature review this data. Yeah.
Mm. So you must have a research question, which I don't see, right?
Yeah.
Because essentially the characteristic of a PhD work is that you do research, right?
Yeah.
So the research can be part of the design of something, but then that design should have something new, something that you have found out as part of your research. So when you present like this, I can't really see that. Maybe also because I'm not electrical engineer, but this looks more like a design, purely design, and I don't see the research component in here. Right. Because of that, when you look at methodology, also you do full wave simulation. Are you going to write something really new as a simulation, or you just use off the shelf simulation? You just fill in the parameters. Is there a novel thing in here?
Actually, this part is just for myself, and I
Mhm.
don't discuss with my supervisor. Yeah, just my in my in my mind, and
Mhm.
to show you, and I don't discuss about this part with my supervisor.
Okay, that's fine. Um, but yeah, those are the points I would want to give you. Right, make
Yeah.
sure that it's really clear what is your contribution, your novelty, because
Okay.
people will question you on that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Next, you have Fikri. Thank you. Nicely, one slide. Are you here? I think I saw your name.
Hello,
Yes.
hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi,
Please go
okay.
ahead.
Hi, Prof. Okay, thank you, Prof. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Prof. My name is Fikri. My research title is Maximizing Carbon Emission Reduction in Construction Project using Reinforcement Learning Optimization. Basically, the keyword is carbon emission, construction, and reinforcement learning optimization. My main motivation behind this study comes from the growing need to balance development and sustainability in construction industry. So problem statement for this is construction project is very complex. It involves multiple interdependence activities, design, material procurement, transportation and on-site processes, a lot of them, a lot of factors that we have to take into account. And managing all this is extremely difficult, and current system are not able to do it in real time condition. And yes, a conventional approach is they lack scalability. It most often use linear programming or static scheduling, which are not able to dynamically improve and maybe learn from past project. And challenges is with the integration with data across system. There's so many software in construction project that they are using. So to integrate the output of optimization into the scheduling software is a bit of a challenge, and also a need for academia and industry collaboration. Yeah, my research aimed to bridge this gap by developing model that can actually be used in real construction project. So the research question is, what's the input variables that are important in construction project, in uh, multi-objective optimization. And how does reinforcement learning perform compared to traditional algorithm, like maybe, for example, genetic algorithm, particle swarm optimization, PESO? How do they perform in balancing the emission, the cost, and time, those resources? And then how viable is my model, my proposed model, to be used in actual construction project? That's the research question. And then the objective is basically you want to determine the key variables for the multi-objective optimization, and then we want to build the reinforcement learning model that do the multi-objective optimization, and then we want to evaluate the reinforcement learning model against the other algorithm so that we are able to benchmark if our proposed algorithm is performing up to the standard or not. And then we want to validate the model feasibilities for sustainable construction. Basically, we want to try our model in actual construction project, or maybe we can, if we don't have enough time for the time, we do it in simulation just to make sure that it is feasible for construction project. And then in conclusion, this research should combine AI, data analytics, in sustainability in construction principles to reduce the carbon emission without compromising efficiency. Basically, I want to do not waste time, do not waste cost, do not waste materials, but I want to reduce carbon emission. And by using reinforcement learning, I hope that this able to adapt into a very complex construction project and help the construction project become more sustainable and data driven. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so maximizing carbon emission reduction, or maybe you could say minimizing carbon emission, a bit more direct, in construction
Sure.
project, using reinforcement learning optimization. Okay, reinforcement learning is a machine learning strategy, right?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, because just now you said AI. I feel that AI, the term AI is creeping into places where it used to be not applicable. So now everything has become AI, even though it's just machine learning.
True.
Yeah. Okay, very clear problem statement. And then your research questions relate nicely to your problem statement, and then your objectives also follow quite nicely. Okay, good. And then we look at the keywords, identify key variables, so that's very specific, right? Develop multi-objective optimization model, okay. Evaluate against other algorithms. That brings a question though. Those algorithms already are developed for this application, complete with the optimization, etc. Or is it very trivial to make that?
The genetic algorithm is already developed and well researched. Well, also the PESO reinforcement learning also. I've seen
Oh,
some
yeah, but
people.
my question is, because you, of course, reinforcement learning also exists, but you're going to apply it for this particular problem, right?
True, Prof.
So if you want to benchmark it against genetic algorithm, do you also need to develop the genetic algorithm for this specific application, or is there something you can use to benchmark?
Oh, that's the
Because yeah,
my plan is probably there is researchers out there able to give the uh design script for
I see.
for the benchmarking. But
All right.
if
But
I was to build it from scratch, and I would try.
okay, but that means you have to do three
Mm,
models, right?
true, Prof.
Which is possible.
Mhm,
Okay, and then validate in, yeah, I mean in actual context, right? Either
true.
simulated or reality. Okay, good. And expected
Mhm.
outcomes, yeah. 2 papers and 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Prof.
Then we have Joe Ziyu. You're here? Yes, you're here. You want to present your slides?
Uh, what? I'm
You
sharing
can,
my screen.
no, you can see my screen, right? Your slide is on my screen. Or you cannot see?
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
No, I'm sharing my screen. That's why you submit your
Oh,
PDF so I can share
I
it.
can't share my screen. Oh,
I'm already sharing your slide.
I can't click the share
You can't see?
button.
Can you see my slide?
I can't connect the sharing button.
No, it's
Sorry.
blocked. Can you see my slide? Can
Yeah.
can yeah, it's your slide, is it?
Oh.
Can you see it?
Uh, oh.
Um, question for other
Could you
people.
see my screen?
Question for other people. Can you see the slide, right?
I
I'm
can't
sharing.
see slide.
Yeah,
I
Josie,
slide back to the screen.
Jo- if you just look at your Teams meeting, I am already sharing your slide. You can just present from my slide.
But I can't slide.
You do not need to share. I am already sharing your slide. Can you?
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Please go ahead.
Morning, professor and classmates. I'll present my research titled AI-driven end-to-end cardiac parameter detection in echocardiography. Um, Background. Echocardiography is the primary imaging tools for assessing cardiac structure and function. Compared with CT and MRI, it offers real-time imaging, no radiation, and high accessibility. And problem statement. Echocardiography today faces 3 major limitations, such as diagnostic results very significant among physicians, the heavy workload for cardiologists, and current tools don't provide complete workflow solutions for scanning to final reports. Predictive. My research aimed to build a fully automated scan to report cardio ultrasound detection system that can measure heart function directly from raw echocardiography. Research and content. My research focuses on 4 components. View recognition involves real-time classification and automated quantity scoring. Multitask measurement enables chamber segmentation, valve motion tracking, and metric regression. Report generation uses natural language generation to convert data into physician-friendly reports. System integration ensure a clinical deployable end-to-end AI ecosystem. Methodology. My methodology spans to 4 key areas. For dataset, I plan to assemble and annotate over 5,000 echocardiographic videos. For model design, I will use ResNet and Transformer for views, multi-scale network for segmentation, and temporal transformers for function. For report generation, I will implement a structured language, natural language generation model based on AAC guidelines for auto-generate drafts. For validation targets, I will conduct prospective validation on 500 clinical cases. Target an R-square antithesis of 0.95 and view classification accuracy of at least 90%. This research proposed 3 key innovations. End-to-end learning framework, explainable AI architecture, hybrid supervising strategy, expect outcomes. My research expects 2 main outcomes. For knowledge contribution, public release of an open expert annotated dataset, new publications on temporal fusion method, and develop a framework for explain model for clinical impact. 90% expert level detection accuracy, 70% reduce in time compared to manual measurement, consistent and reproduced quantification across different hospitals. This concludes my presentation on AI-driven echocardiography framework. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. So let's go back. All right, AI-driven, then end-to-end, because you start with a patient, you end with a report, right? Cardiac parameter detection in ECG, echocardio. Okay, so you have a problem statement at the present, and this is all based on the present being manual, right? So the manual person needs the expertise, the manual person needs to spend a lot of time and also do the whole process end to end. So you aim to build a fully automated detection system. Very good. We have an aim. So your research content, no, it's not really objectives, right? Where are your research objectives?
Objective.
You are promising aim and objectives, but where are the objectives? And that's the very, very key for this presentation, is that we take a look at your objectives. So you can't really miss them.
The system.
Okay, so you need to formulate your objectives. What exactly, because the overall aim is there, right? You want to have a fully automated scan to report system. So to achieve that, what is necessary? What problems are there to solve, to overcome, etc.? And then exactly what part of that is going to be your PhD research? So that's why we need these 3 to 5 objectives that very specifically guide what you're going to do. You have research content, which is like themes, right? You are going to look into view recognition. But what is the actual objective of this? Right? So you need to define your objective. I know at the end you give us here some very, very specific things for the outcomes, which is good. But the actual write-up of the objectives is missing. Right?
Thank you.
Real-time classification, yes. Chamber segmentation. Natural language generated report. Okay. Yeah. Just a second. Sorry. Then you have 5,000 ECGs. Are they already annotated, or are you going to collect this set?
I'm connected now.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Are you going to collect this, or this is already there? This data set.
I'm connecting.
You are collecting. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's why you say one of the outcomes is the annotated set. Good. Then you have your model design with a lot of the machine learning terms, right? Okay. So that's very clear what you that will be a major part of your contribution there. Report generation. How are you going to make sure that this natural language Gen AI is going to give you a reliable report and not going to do this fabulation thing that we see sometimes? Because sometimes these natural language models, they just start making things up, right? So how do you make sure it doesn't do that?
Use the real report.
Come again?
Give the model much more real report.
Okay. And then you have validation target. So that's basically just a holdout set from your data set, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So yeah, you could write your objectives along these lines, right? First objective to collect data set with annotation. Second objective to make the model, etc. So the content is sort of there, but you need to make it into the specific sentences. Okay. The novelty, yeah. I was stumbling about this a little bit. Explainable. Which part of your model is going to be explainable? Because normally all these transformer networks and all, is that explainable? Or what
Use
exactly?
temporal attention visualization.
Come again?
Temporal attention visualization model.
So what is our understanding of the term explainable AI? So my understanding from explainable is that you can see how things are derived, right? Whereas normally AI is or ML is just a big black box where stuff goes in and magically or nearly magically some output comes out. And we don't really know why this output. But explainable, you can more directly understand the link between input and output. Is that a correct understanding?
I could show doctor the image attention.
Okay, yeah. The attention is
Focus on the image part the important part.
Mhm. Okay.
Show the important part of image for the doctor.
Okay, I'm not sure I fully understand, but okay. I don't have to, right? This is just a more general presentation. Okay. All right. So there's some very good elements here, but next time, please, one slide means one slide, okay? And you have to formulate your objectives.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so for today, the learning outcomes of this module is you should know the requirements for completing a PhD in our faculty, and also develop a Gantt chart for your own. You should be able to, right? Develop a Gantt chart for your own PhD work so that you could potentially graduate on time. Okay. So, question, what are your own expectation and your target? So actually two questions, your expectation and your target in completing your PhD study. Right, because the previous slide, in the objectives, we see the requirements, right? And the GOT. So what's your expectation? What are you going to achieve? How, on time, not on time? What wonderful outcomes? Short. Yeah, okay. Okay, make sure it's doable, right? To complete according to schedule. Very good. Good publication, right? So we still take care of the quality, but within the dedicated time. Very good. Meaningful findings, right? High quality writing, okay? New product, two good publication. All right. Okay. So very good, right? We are targeting high quality, I see, from your responses. Contingency plan, in case something is not working as originally planned. Very good. Right. So let me move on to the graduation requirements. Okay. We have explained this to you in when you registered, right? Which is not so long ago. We have explained this to you when you came in. I'm explaining it to you now. Next week, we have Juan Farhana from the Deputy Dean's Office who will again join the lecture to answer any questions. But these are the requirements that you must follow to graduate. You must pass your research methodology course. There's this course. Not later than the second semester of your registration. So I think most of you are in the first semester. Some, depending on what date you join, you may be in the second semester. But you shouldn't do it afterward because by right, you must pass no later than second semester. All right? Take care that the passing grade for postgraduate courses is a B. So if you've done your undergraduate in your M, you are used to passing grade being a C, but for postgraduate, it's a B. So that's the first one. Then, for those of you who did not follow the Malaysian education system, you do not have our language. So you need to fulfill your language requirement, your Bahasa Malaysia requirement, also no later than the second semester. So this applies only to international students. Okay. Then you need to have a proposal defense. Again, no later than the second semester. I want to make very clear, we are going to write a report for our RM course. As part of the assessment of your RM course, you're going to write a report. You also need to submit a report for your proposal defense. These are different, right? Your RM course is one thing, your proposal defense is something else. They are not related. Of course, if you write a literature review, you can just use the same review for both reports, right? But you must submit separately. And I do not really put much requirements on the report for RM in terms of length. For proposal defense, there is a word length, so you must make sure you do not exceed the word length. Right? This is because we do not want to overburden our moderators, so there is a limit for words. So all these points, 1, 2, 3, you need to do in the first 2 semesters. The purpose of your proposal defense is that the moderators, a bit similar to what we do here with a 3-minute presentation, your moderators can see your objectives are suitable and your methodology is suitable, right? Because if you start off with research objectives that are not suitable, or you start off with a methodology that is not suitable to reach your research objectives, you're going to face lots of problems later on, right? So this is just as a check so that not only your supervisor looks into that, but also a few moderators from the department see that this is going on the right track, right? Then you have a few months of very hard work, but nothing in here. And then no later than the 5th semester, you have your candidature defense. So again, you write a report, you have to submit, you present in front of a panel, just like proposal defense. But now the focus is more on, are you on the right track to write a thesis? So have you collected some results? How is your data analysis going, etc., etc. You don't have to finish your data collection. Actually, the requirement is to have about 20% of your data. But you must have something, otherwise the panel cannot see whether you are doing well, right? This must be done no later than 5th semester. Really, okay? We used to give exceptions, but we are very, very stingy with exceptions now. So just make sure you do it on time. Then, before you can submit your thesis, you need to hold a thesis seminar. This is just a general presentation. There need to be a minimum number of people there, but there is not necessarily a panel of moderators. It's just a presentation. We will not consider outside conferences. So if you say I have a conference certificate, that's nice, but we do not count that as a thesis seminar. Unless organizes something and we specifically say that this will be accepted. We did that last month for the Research Carnival in for example. But in general, conference is not considered. You need to hold a thesis seminar. Very simple. Just present in front of a few people. Once you have done your thesis seminar, and actually in the procedure before the thesis seminar, there is your 3-month notice, so-called. That is the title confirmation and appointment of examiners. So before you can submit your thesis, there is an administrative procedure. You need to finalize your title. So that's why it's called title confirmation. And your supervisor need to identify 2 external examiners and 1 internal examiner with reserve. So it was 2 external plus 1 reserve, 1 internal plus 1 reserve. That's your supervisor's job. Of course, you can give your supervisor suggestion, but it's your supervisor's job. He or she will submit to the faculty. The faculty will decide whether that's good or not. Right. Once that is approved, then you can go and hold your thesis seminar. After you have done your thesis seminar, you can submit your thesis. Okay. Now, before you graduate, you need to have, as you know, 2 publications in the Web of Science in the core collection. The core collection, Web of Science, there's a few index, right? We have the SCIE, the Science Citation Index Expanded, SCIE, that's core collection. There is also one for humanities, there is one for social science, etc. We focus on the SCIE, right? With justification, we could accept in the core collection for humanities or social science. So if you have a really multidisciplinary research, you could do that. But it's much easier and the approval is much more straightforward if you just focus on the SCIE. Don't submit to an ESCI journal, right? ESCIE is Emerging Science Citation Expanded. That one is not counted. So make sure before you submit, you really how do you call? Satisfy yourself that it is considered for your graduation. Otherwise, you have published, but it doesn't count, right? Also be aware there are a number of publishers that are blacklisted. I think Hindawi, Frontiers, I think NDPI is also problematic. So the library will have this information. Make sure with the library that the journal you want to submit to is not blacklisted. The journals get blacklisted because their reviewing process is not good, right? This mostly happens with open access journals that are more interested in getting the money from people publishing and are not rigorous enough in the review process. So if we would allow that, then there's no more value for the publication, right? So make sure it is the correct index, SCIE index, and that the journal is not blacklisted by our university. Okay. Just protect yourself, make sure of that. For a publication to count, you as the candidate should be the first student author. So if your supervisor is the first author and you are second after your supervisor, that is okay, because in the list of authors, you are the first one who is a student, right? If there is your supervisor as a first author and another lecturer as the second and a postdoc as the third and you as the fourth author, it's still okay because you are the first student author, right? But if you write the paper together with another student and the other student is the first author, you are the second, then cannot. That paper counts for the other student's graduation, right? So make sure to count, your name must be the first student author. Okay? So very important to have two publications. You can submit your thesis before you have two publications. So depending on how far along you are, we accept in the very early stages, I think the first 6 or 7 semesters of your candidature, we will only allow thesis submission if you have 2 papers published. But if you're already, let's say 8 or 9 semester, you have 1 paper published and 1 under review, we can still accept, right? So this is to not delay the process too much. But if you submit your thesis, you go through the Viva, you have done your corrections, and you still do not have 2 papers published, we will not give you the degree until your second paper is published, right? So you can submit early before you have 2 papers, but to actually get the degree, to get the Senate letter saying that this person has done the job of a PhD, you have to wait for your second paper to be published. Right. And this is also very important for you because if you want to apply in a university, they will want to see your PhD degree or at least the Senate letter that you have passed everything, right? So that's about publication. There may be other requirements stated in your offer letter. That's our escape clause if there's anything else that needs to be done. But these are the major requirements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So make sure you plan for them. Make sure you do them on time, that you can graduate on time. We have designed it such that you can graduate on time based on these requirements, but you have to plan accordingly, right? Hang on. There were a few more expectations, so not too constraining but useful research. Yes, become a good researcher with impactful publication. Very good. And then there's a question from Li Hua. PhD confirmation defense is not the same as proposal defense. If you have PhD confirmation defense, that means that you are doing fast track PhD, right? You have your bachelor, you skip doing the master because you go straight into PhD. Is that correct? Then your offer letter will say you need to do a PhD confirmation defense. So this is to make sure you can really do this. You can skip the master's, go straight into PhD. So this is a separate thing. Confirmation defense is only for people who do fast track PhD. Okay? So it's a special thing. And this is also the first 2 semesters, if I'm not mistaken. Proposal defense in the first semester, yes, you can. Absolutely. Yeah. And as I said, you can use a lot of the material, SCIE. SCIE. So that is Science Citation Expanded. index, sorry, should be an index in there as well. There's an I, right? You can use a lot of the material from the RM course for your proposal defense. Okay, so since for proposal of for RM course, I will ask you to write literature review, to prepare your objectives, and so on and so forth. Of course, they can be the same as for your proposal defense. The only thing I have to warn you is don't think that you submitted one place, automatically it's settled for the other. You have to do it separately. Okay? But of course, you don't have to start from scratch again. You can use the same material. Okay? But you can do in the first semester, absolutely. The faculty will invite you to do it. And this is one of the questions you may need to ask Ms. Farhana next week, because sometimes this changes, and I sometimes also get left behind with all the changes. So you may need to take action, but I'm not 100% sure. So can you hold on to this question for next week? Then we ask Madam Farhana. Of course, the PhD publication must be relevant to your PhD research. Yes. That is, I think, is also stated in the requirements. Not put it in the slide because I thought it would be evident, but yes, it needs to be relevant to your PhD research. And since we are at that topic, it also must be generated during your candidature. So what you cannot do is do a lot of research and then think, okay, I'm ready, I have enough, I'm going to register now and quickly publish and graduate in the minimum amount of semesters. That's actually not according to the rules, right? You should generate everything during your candidature. I think that is also stated in your offer letter. Okay, for candidature defense is not at all related to paper. Right? For candidature defense, of course, for the candidature defense, you have a report. You have your candidature defense report. That's just internal in the faculty. That one will never leave the faculty. It's only between you and your moderators. Again, there will be a word limit. So you can use parts of your thesis for your candidature defense, but not everything you have written, you will exceed the word limit. So you need to edit a little bit. But it has nothing to do with paper publication. Okay? Only look at the time before the 5th semester. The only requirement is that you should have collected about 20% of your data. So hopefully by the time it's 5th semester, you should have at least 20%, right? Now we know from experience, a lot of students do not really want to do candidature defense because you're afraid that if you fail 2 times, you're out. This is true. If you fail your candidature defense, you have to do it again. If you fail again, you're out. So you have to take it very serious. But you don't have to worry that you have only, let's say, 50% of your data, so you're going to fail. That is not really how it works, right? The panel should just look at, are you on track to generate a good thesis? Or is what you have been doing is not right, is wrong, right? That is the intention of candidature defense. So don't delay it because you're worried you don't have enough data. 20% is, by the rules, is enough. Okay. You have a paper under review. You're co-first author. What is co-first author? There's no such thing as co-first author. Because when we have the list of papers, there is name, 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 name. So the first one is first author. There is no such thing as co-first author. Your research is conducted in collaboration with other institutions. That's fine. It doesn't matter as long as you are listed as the first author or the first student author. Then that's fine. It it doesn't matter in how the institutions are mentioned. Okay. All right. So this is a very important slide for you. Um, make sure you don't miss out on any of the things. Of course, the Deputy Dean's office will send you reminders on all these things, but the planning is up to you, right? By the time the office sends you a reminder, then you need to have it ready. Your name is first, yes. If you have published the paper before you came to UM, no, you cannot. If you wrote it before you came to UM, it's under review now, nobody would know, isn't it? But it has to be related to your thesis topic. Okay. So by right, the work should be done during your candidature, but we cannot check that, right? So if it is published during your candidature, that's good enough. All right. Okay. So once hopefully we understand the graduation requirements in terms of what you need to do, why do you think, is it good to have these graduation requirements, or is it just us making your life difficult, or what's your opinion on that? It's good because to maintain academic standards, ensure PhD students develop strong research skills, and prepare students to become competent researchers. Thank you. Very good. Provide you with clear goals. Right. So we have a very clear pathway to your graduation, hopefully. Need to adhere to the requirements. Yes, that's what you need to do. They're essential for excellence, academic excellence. Thank you. Important for new students. Good for time delivered research, so graduate on time. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so if now all you say it's good to have these, I hope you also all follow your PD in the second semester, your CD in the fifth semester, your confirmation defense if you have that on time, your publication, and so on and so forth. Right. Right. Thank you. Remind me next week. Who was it? Li Hua, huh? That we confirm in which semester the confirmation defense is, because I am not 100% sure. We don't have that many fast track students that I remember that. All right. So what are the requirements for, first, conference attendance, and second, minimum residency period in Malaysia for international students? So the first question is it required for you to go to any conferences? The second question is it required for you to stay inside Malaysia for a certain duration during your PhD? First one, no. And that's correct, right? There's no requirement for you to go to a conference. If you have the opportunity, you have the money, so maybe your supervisor has a budget for it, it's good to go to a conference. I mean, it gives you a chance to speak to other researchers, build a network, and so on and so forth. But for your graduation, it's not a requirement. Very good. What about number 2? One semester. Is that from your offer letter? Or from the guidebook? Ramela? Minimum 4 semester. No, I think that's a misunderstanding there. The minimum duration for your PhD is 4 semester, right? 4 until 12. But here we're talking about residency. Do you need to be inside Malaysia? Or can you do your research in another institution? So you register in UM, but you go to, let's say, Japan because they have fantastic facilities and you do your research there. Okay. So I see some different opinions. Yes, there is a visa thing. So that may put some requirements on you. We used to have a residency requirement where it was compulsory for students to be inside Malaysia for a certain duration, I think 1 semester. During the COVID time, this changed to virtual residency. So you have to be in Malaysia, but it was okay to be in another place and virtually be in Malaysia, which eventually makes so little sense that, as far as I know, the whole requirement has been scrapped. But you have to make sure, yes, about your visa. If your country has a regulation for you to stay in Malaysia, for example, because your country says we are sponsoring your research, so you better be in the university, of course you need to take care of that. But for your graduation, it is, as far as I know, no longer a requirement. Again, we need to check this next week. Then I can update myself as well. Okay. If you wish to attend the conference, will you pay for the conference fee? You wish. We all wish, but no, not as such. There are a few ways. Oh, Hossein, you want to be here 6 semesters? No. You're welcome. But it's not a graduation requirement. Okay, 4 semester. If you look in your guidebook, you will see the minimum duration for PhD is 4 semester. You cannot graduate within 2 or 3 semester. Even though you have a fantastic thesis with 5 publications, the minimum requirement is 4 semester. Graduate on time is 7 plus. Maximum duration is 12. Right? So within 4 to 12, semester, you should graduate. The 6, I have no idea where the 6 comes from. But the residency requirement is a requirement to stay inside Malaysia. For graduation, we don't have that anymore. I'm fairly sure of that. Okay? But make sure of your visa and any other requirements. That is outside the scope of graduation, even though it's, of course, very important for you. Back to Homin's question, if you want to go to conference, it could be that your supervisor has a grant. Normally, if we apply a grant, we allocate some money to go to conference. Some grants allow only the supervisor to go for conference. Some grants also allow postgraduate students to go for conference. UM can pay for your supervisor to go for conference. We have some, we call bantuan, so support, that your supervisor can apply for, and then they can kind of informally transfer that to you to go for the conference. So there are some options, but it is not possible for you as a PhD student to apply from UM for conference fees. No, unfortunately. I hope that answers your question. Okay. So as far as graduation requirements go, no such things, right? Both 1 and 2, no such things. Okay. Now, based on all these graduation requirements, right, that we have, you can be student committee. Yes, you can. Definitely. Based on graduation requirements, the ones we've discussed just now, all the PD, CD, and so on, and also your own targets, the ones you told me earlier, you want to do fantastic research and have high quality writing and so on. You need to plan for that. It's not going to happen just like that. So you need to plan what activities you need to do to achieve all that and put it in, for example, in a Gantt chart. That's the most common one, right? So it looks like this. Oh, not yet. So the typical activities to put in a Gantt chart are things like conducting literature review. Right, you're probably going to do that. You should keep up with literature throughout your candidature, right? For the full 3-4 years and never stop, because that's lifelong learning. Maybe one of your activities is writing a review paper. You need to design your experimental setup, or maybe adapt an existing experimental setup. Make some changes necessary for your specific objectives, right? This could be a physical setup in the lab, or maybe a more virtual if you're doing all these machine learning things, but still you need to design that, right? You need to design the layout of your machine learning, as in what happens to the inputs, data sanitation, you put a transformer here and feedback loop there, etc., etc. Enrolling in following the research methodology course, because it's one of the requirements to pass, so you need to do that. Write the research proposal for your proposal defense. Conduct experiments. It's only given here as one activity, but probably you can break that down in different experiments, right? Doing simulations, analyzing the results, writing thesis, writing article, writing your candidature defense report, because without report you can't do the candidature defense, and well, whatever else needs to be done. Right, you need to plan for it, because as the saying goes, failing to plan is planning to fail. Right? If you don't plan for it, at some point you realize that, oops, I should have done this and I forgot. Or I've spent a lot of time doing something that actually it was not needed. You need to plan according to your needs. So we plan both activities, I forgot to read that just now. So what we saw just now were activities and milestones. So milestones are just like those poles by the side of the road that tell you you are so far from town, right? So when we look at milestones, one or more activities can be contributing to achieve a particular milestone. And a milestone should be a significant point or significant achievement in the journey towards PhD. A milestone should have the same as your research objective. It's like intermediate objectives, right? Not the overall objectives for your PhD, but kind of intermediate objective. Or even fulfilling objective 1 of your research is a milestone in itself. So we have the same requirements: SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound, right? Specific, you should, for example, set real numbers with real deadlines. I think this is from a business context, because it says, don't say I want more visitors, right? It's not specific. You do not say how many more visitors you want, and you don't say when do you want them. What's your deadline? So real numbers, real deadlines. Measurable. So you make sure that your goal can be trackable. Have you achieved your goal, or are you at 50% of your goal, etc.? So no management speak here. Right? Attainable. So the goal can be challenging. You can challenge yourself, but it should still be possible. Because if you already know it's not possible, then you already know you're going to fail. There's no point. Right? Realistic. Similar to attainable, I would think. And time-bound, because your PB is in SEM 1 or 2, your CD in SEM 5, your thesis seminar, your graduate on time. Right? So it's all time-bound. That's why a milestone we put at a certain date. So here's an example for a Gantt chart. Right? We put all the activities. This literature didn't get a capital for some reason. And we mark when are we going to do that. So you could do per semester, like here. You can do that per month. You can do that per week. For a smaller project, you could do that per day. But let's say we do this per semester. It's very common. Per month, also still quite common. Literature review is a typical activity, right? And here it's specific literature review for identifying your research gap. Okay. So very logically, this activity connects to a milestone. The gap has been identified, right? Because that's why you did the literature review. You identify the gap. You make that a milestone, and you put the milestone in a Gantt chart, often with a kind of diamond. So you say at the end of semester 1, this must be done. You put a diamond here on the line. Right. That's your target date. Literature review for update. Well, that's an activity that can go on for the full duration of your study, because you keep on updating. It's a bit hard to say that that has a very definite milestone achievement. But research methodology class, we are here in SEM 1, so the activity goes on throughout SEM 1, and then the milestone is you've passed it. So you put, again, your diamond here. You passed it. That's your target. You can tick it off from the list of requirements. And we go on for proposal, defense, and so on and so forth. So you could take this as a basis for the planning for your own study. Or you could not do that. You could have a completely different planning. But it's probably going to be somewhat similar to this anyway. Right? Because the main things, proposal, defense, candidature defense, thesis seminar, they must all be there. And obviously, if you want to reach your objectives, you need to do the work for that. So, yeah, that's more or less the layout. Question. I just now made the statement, if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. Do you agree with that? Or is it possible to just think, it's okay, I will go with the flow and I will see? We agree, right? If you have a supervisor, your supervisor tells you you should do this now, you should do this now. Is it possible? You have a supervisor, right? The Gantt chart already provided in Maya. Good. We agree. But my question now, what if you have your supervisor says this week, you do this, next week you do that, the week after you do that. You also reach there on time. Can you rely on that? For now, yes. Always have an escape clause. Okay, I will answer my own rambling. You don't rely on your supervisor to tell you what to do. Okay. I am a supervisor. I can tell you, supervisor will. No. If your supervisor is like me, they will not like it. You're a PhD student, you're independent. That means you make your own planning. Of course, you discuss with your supervisor, right? You don't, independent doesn't mean you register on day one and you submit your thesis the next time you see your supervisor. That's not. But independent means you have your planning and you follow your own planning in conversation, no, how do you say, in consultation with your supervisor. If you rely on your supervisor to tell you what to do, your supervisor is probably not going to like it. But your supervisor will give input for your planning. So it's a bit double, depending on workload. Of course, if you make a planning, experience shows us that you are not going to be able to 100% follow your planning. Sometimes things go a little bit faster than you thought. Very often things do not go as you thought. So it might take a bit more time. That is okay, right? And hopefully you already kind of factor that in when you make your planning. It could be this fast, but I will take so many percent extra time because I could have some setbacks, right? But you can do that if you make a planning. If you don't make a planning, then you can also not do that, right? So you make the planning. You have to accept that maybe you need to make some adjustments along the way, but we have to have the planning. But I think you all agreed with that anyway, so we don't need to say too much about that. We are about halfway. The research depends on the budget from the supervisor, which is absolutely true. So your supervisor has definitely a say in what you are going to do with their money. Absolutely. But yeah, that's why you need to talk to your supervisor. Absolutely. You forgot to ask for 2 publication requirement. Is UM going to pay the publication fees? This is a very good question. If you submit to a subscription journal or a mixed mode journal, yeah, there is no publication fee. But lately, the last few years, the number of subscription journals is getting less. They're all converting to open access, which means we have publication charges. The university will not pay you, as far as I know. They will pay the supervisor. So I think your supervisor need to apply for that. And there are pretty strict rules on how much you can apply for what journal, and it seems to be never enough. So more and more, this is something that needs to be coming from research grants that have allocation for publication fees. Yeah, absolutely. So you need to discuss with your supervisor also to plan. It's not a plan, it's not a time plan, but how to plan for having your publication paid for. Yeah, absolutely. You plan at least the outline so that later on you can incorporate adjustment from your supervisor. Very good. Very good. Yeah. All right. We are about halfway. Not so bad timing this week. So we take about 5 minutes. It's now 10:27, so 10:32. We continue. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. We've seen a list of activities just now. I will flip back so that you can see them again. But can we identify 10 more items that could fall in the category activities? And you can use your own PhD work as inspiration for that. Can we come up with 10 more activities? Things that you want to put in your Gantt chart, but they are not listed here. Pilot study. Okay, so this is, yeah, where does it go? It's after it. Well, it's after something which is also not in there. So I'm going to not say anything. Applying for ethics approval. Right. Right. It's very important if you work with any human subject to have the correct ethics approval. Also, if you use test animals, by the way. Feedstock procurement and preparation. Right, right. So procurement is definitely something that can take a surprisingly long time if you want to order some not so standard materials. So yes, you need to definitely plan for that. Validation. Yes, if we do the simulation was there, I think. Yep, simulation is there. So validation needs to be there as well. New concept, learning plan. So you want to learn about new concepts or analytical methods. Yes, yes. So that's a little bit related to the methodology course, right? You follow a course to get some knowledge that you need for the PhD. So yes, model development. Yes, that belongs to modeling and simulation, right? So you need to develop a model. Absolutely. Contributions. What is the activity there, Omi? Contribution to what? Some formal or informal, by the way, it looks here, discussion with a subject matter expert. All right, so that's part of information gathering, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a kind of preliminary step for the further design of your study normally, right? Attend technical training software courses. Yes, that's similar. I think similar to what Venkatesh was saying just now, if I understood it correctly. Progress report. Yes, those need to be written. Contribution of the findings in your thesis. Okay. All right. Do we have 10 ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Contingency plan, is that an activity? To okay, maybe one more. If any hiccups, yes, I know what is a contingency plan. I was just asking, is it an activity? But if you're budgeting your time, yes, then you need to put it in, just like the budget post of unforeseen, right? You're budgeting your time. If you look at your Gantt chart like that, then yeah, I guess you should put that. Comparisons. What activity do I have? Oh, no. Okay. Then the next activity, I think you see it coming. Identify, or now it's only 4, 5 more items that fall in the category milestone. So again, contributing directly or indirectly to your PhD work. So let's take this as an example now. We have a number of milestones here, right? I cannot highlight because this is a picture. What other milestones could you come up with? Should be easy because the activities we identified just now would also lead to or contribute to a milestone, right? Meeting comparisons. So yes, comparison of outcome of one method with another method. So that's yeah, kind of higher level of analysis. You bring the analysis to the point where you can decide which model or which system is better than another system. Meeting with supervisors, that's an activity for sure. So maybe an activity that goes more on a weekly Gantt chart than on one that talks about semester. Attend thesis seminar, was that not listed? Okay, that one definitely is an activity. Oh, attend thesis seminar. So as a listener, yeah. And if we put that, you might as well put attend conference in there as well. Right? Or was that already in there? I don't know. Even though conference is not a requirement, it could still be good to plan to go to a conference, right? So now let's add some milestones, some possibilities for other milestones, or some things that would be a milestone in your study, but you don't see it here. Submit journal paper, right? So if writing journal paper is an activity, then submitting the journal paper is a milestone. Or maybe you should say have the paper accepted. But submitting is a milestone in itself. Yeah. And actually we see them here, right? Submit. Don't know whether you can see my mouse pointer. Submit technical paper 1, submit technical paper 2. And here also submit LR, so literature review paper. Achieve targeted sample size. Right. So just now, for example, we saw somebody want to make a data set of 5,000 annotated ECGs. So having that set completed, that is definitely a milestone. Yes. Holding your thesis seminar, absolutely. Survey, as in survey the place or the field where the research will be conducted. So I would say the survey is an activity, but your decision of, okay, this is going to be the place, that would be a milestone, right? Complete a prototype, yes. Yes. One publication accepted, one under review. Yeah. Yeah. So that means actually it's two, right? Paper accepted is a milestone, and the other paper submitted is another milestone. CD, PD, publication, those are definitely milestones. Yeah. So if we look back to this, I think I can highlight that we see, for example, somewhere in the middle, chapter 1 draft completed, right? For milestone achievement. Chapter 2 draft completed, which is good, right? A milestone does not necessarily mean that something is really finished. It just means it's a very important achievement on the way to your thesis. So even though you say chapter 2 draft is finished, the chapter is not finalized because your supervisor still need to make some comments on it and adjustments. But submitting the draft to your supervisor is in itself an achievement, right? A milestone. Research materials procured. Yes, if procurement is an activity, then having the materials in your hand is the milestone, right? Very good. Clarify interview question research. So I'm not sure the second part, but clarify interview question. So if you do a survey in the other sense of the word.
Dia bawa projek, lepas tu bawa boleh pergi sini, dia tak boleh share.
Sorry, are you talking to the group or did you accidentally unmute? Okay, accidentally. Survey in the other sense of the word, where you give a questionnaire to people, then of course having the questionnaire, or in case of interview, preparing the open-ended questions, that is definitely a milestone. Yes. Attend courses for relevant subject matters. Okay, that was an activity. Attend a course is an activity, but then getting the certificate or whatever is the outcome of the course, that will be the milestone. Correct. Correct. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing that I wanted to highlight, which for some reason was not mentioned earlier. You see on the very bottom line, progress report submission. So actually the activity should be writing progress report. And the milestone here is submit progress report. So during your candidature, every semester you need to write or update your progress report in the Maya system. Right? It's very guided. It just asks you how many percent of this have you finished, how many percent of that have you finished, with some justifications, and it even tells you how many words you can use for that and so on. You must do that every semester. Okay, must. It's not a graduation requirement. That's why it was not in the list just now, but you must do it every semester, because if you do not submit your progress report, you cannot register for the next semester. Okay, so please make very sure every, as I said, Suha, this is very guided. You can log in to your Maya and look at what that progress report is. It's very scripted. You need to tell how many % of chapter 1 you have done, how many did you set this. There's no such, it's not a report in the sense you write 12 pages. You report kind of online by answering the questions. It should be very self-explanatory. If you open it, you will see how that works. But you must make sure you do that every semester. You also must make sure that your supervisor evaluates that, because you need to submit. Okay, there's a deadline for that. Your supervisor needs to evaluate. There's another deadline for that. Then the head of department needs to endorse. There's another deadline for that. Only once everything is done, then you can register for the next semester. Okay, so if somehow you miss doing that, it gives a lot of problems, because the system is automated, the system is very rigid, so it really causes a lot of trouble. Don't miss that, okay? Every semester, make sure you fill your progress report. You will get many reminder emails for that. But those reminder emails go to your SISWA mail. And from experience, we also know not everybody always read their SISWA mail. So read your SISWA mail, or have it forwarded to your personal email. I think that's still possible, or whatever. But make sure don't miss this progress report. It's very easy. Okay? It's very easy. A reason we have this progress report is that, of course, there are quality assurance reasons for that, right? But also to protect ourselves. That means you protect yourself, lecturer protect, supervisor protect himself. Let's say every semester you submit your report, your supervisor says, I'm very happy, right? That's the evaluation. And then after 7 semesters, your supervisor says, I didn't like this candidate at all. They didn't work. Then you have the proof. Every semester there was a satisfactory report. So that cannot be true, right? Or vice versa. Every semester your supervisor complains about things not progressing. So the supervisor can protect himself that way, right? If at the end there are problems, the supervisor can say, but I have been saying this all the time. So this is a very serious issue. As long as your PhD goes well, right, everything should be smooth. You have a good relationship with your supervisor. This is not going to be an issue at all. And this would be 95% of the cases, right? Every semester you just fill the percentages achieved for chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, your problems faced, your actions to overcome it, frequency of meeting supervisor, blah, blah, blah. Your supervisor just ticks, I'm happy with everything, and all is good, right? That's really the standard. But just for those cases where, let's say in semester 7 or 8, there is some problem flaring up, then we can trace back whether that has roots in the earlier semesters, right? So that's the reason, kind of the reason why we do that. But for you, very important is don't miss it, because if you miss it, you cannot register for the next semester. And that gives a lot of problems. Okay, take care. Okay. So I've mentioned the term a few times, graduate on time. Graduate on time means somewhere semester 7, right? So if you want to graduate on time, of course, you start with registration, let's say in September, semester 1. You follow your research methodology, which is a milestone. You should finish, it says here December, I think it's actually January. Your milestone 2, proposal defense, so still probably at the end of semester 1. Let's say for graduate on time, right? You're allowed to do it semester 2. So let's say you didn't register in September, you register in November, for example. You missed too much, you cannot do it in Sem 1, but you can do it in Sem 2. First publication submission in semester 2. That's very ambitious, right? Reach the outcome for research objective 1, confirmation defense. If you're fast track, see here, fast track. So semester 3, as I said. Publication number 2 submitted. And then we go to research objective 2, candidature defense, objective 3, thesis seminar, thesis submitted, viva, and corrections, final submission. You should graduate on time, right? But that will only work if you plan for it and if all goes well. So yeah, for Lihua, you're doing fast track. There are also requirements on how fast you should finish your PhD, right? I don't think so. If you do fast track, you can extend it to 12 semesters. You need to graduate. I'm not sure whether you need to graduate on time, but you have less time to graduate, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So explain what it takes for you to graduate on time. Sorry. Discipline of action, right? That's good. So it's not only the planning, but also following the planning, right? Acting on your planning. That's how I read discipline. Yeah. That's it. Wait for funding. Oops. So yeah, if you look at the scheme here for graduate on time, you'll see that there is not really any time to wait. So if you say wait for funding to purchase equipment for experiment, then before you can even begin your experiment, you're already in Sem 2, 3. By the time you should already submit your publication and meet your research objective 1. So if you say you have to wait for funding, I would say it's very unlikely that you can graduate on time, actually. Right? So that's really a killer. Motivation to move forward, absolutely. And this is a personality or personal thing, right? You will, at some point during your candidature, probably face some setback, and then you need to have the motivation to push through. Yeah, focus, not be distracted too much by other things. Consistency, absolutely. Progress review with supervisor, right? So continuously check with your supervisor whether you're on the right track, whether what you're doing is actually correct. So if you go to your supervisor, this is what I have, this is what I plan, and is that good, right? Don't not go to your supervisor and ask, what should I do next? Supervisor not going to like you. Is there an effect or consequence if you do not get GOT? Again, we'll have to reconfirm. I think there is a small monetary award if you GOT. I'm not sure if it goes to the student or the supervisor. Other than that, there is no real consequence for you. The faculty has a target to have a number of or percentage of students to graduate on time. That's a faculty target set by the university, but that doesn't affect you. For you, the only consequence obviously is that you will get your degree later, but you knew that. You have until 12th semester. So there is no real consequence for you. I will come back to that in a minute. Consistent research progress and publication. Finish PhD in young age. Yes, that will be the result. Huh? It's your primary target to GOT. Okay. 8 hours of work per day. So that's the consistency there, right? Maybe 8 hours is not enough. I don't know. You need to make progress every day. Stay motivated and resilient. Consistency. Okay. So we see consistency a lot, right? Clear and correct methodology, yes. So the plan should be there, the plan should be followed, and you should be very consistent in it. I think that summarizes most of what you said. Time management, absolutely. Yes, about the 12 semesters, you need to finish your PhD within 12 semesters. Sometimes that doesn't work. So if after 12 semester you find you are not done yet, for whatever reason, you need to apply for extension. That is not automatic. Okay, it is up to certain people to decide whether to give you the extension or not. So up to 12 semester, you have the right to take 12 semester to finish, right? Which means until your thesis is approved by the Viva committee and your 2 publications done. If you're not done, you need to apply for extension. The first semester, the second, so the 13, 14, 15 semester, it will be the dean of the faculty who needs to approve this. Okay. So if you give some justification and the dean feels that this is justified, then you can be allowed to take more time. Even after 15th semester, you can apply for further extension, but then it is no longer the dean who can give. It has to be the central university management who give you the permission to do so, right? And it is not automatic, okay? It can be rejected. So don't be in that position, right? You plan, hopefully you plan for GOT, maybe you overshoot the GOT, but definitely within the 12th semester, okay? And as you said, you want to finish your PhD in a young age. 12th semester is already 6 years of your life. Let's say you have 14th semester is 7 years, right? 16th semester is 8 years. Do you really want to spend so long on a PhD? You want to do other exciting things, right? So make sure don't overshoot that. Yeah. This is what we just did. So, here's the progress report. It is on the slides. Do it on time. So this is the every semester progress report on the Maya system. Do it on time. Be sincere, right? Because in case of any issues we can look back. This is saved, this is kept. So we can look back to what you did before. So let's say you don't finish on time, but after 2 semesters, you already claim there that you are 100% finished with everything. Who's that?
求求你了，别分手，好吗？
Can you
别
mute? Can you mute? I don't see.
那我
Yeah.
那不是没钱
See
吗？
Juan.
对不对？
Okay, never mind. I'll mute you. Okay. Be sincere. Okay, if after 2 semesters you put everything 100% finished, and then after 8 semesters you're still not finished, you're still not submitting your thesis, then obviously there's something wrong, right? Use your planning as a guideline. So you can also use this as you're forced to look back at your Gantt chart, right? Now you are putting the progress report for semester 3. Are you at the place where you should be? If not, why not? And what are you going to do to catch up, right? So as a planning help. Prepare for submission early. Discuss with your supervisors because they will have to approve it. Be realistic and practical. Go back to sincere. Use it to steer a PhD project. Take it seriously. That's again the same thing. So every semester, just do this. I've already mentioned it, so no need to do it again. Tips for excellence, but you've given most of the tips, right? Stay focused. Implement your planning and adhere to it. Be flexible and agile. I mean, even though you say, I have a planning, I'm adhering to the planning, things may or may not go as planned, right? So there need to be some flexibility as well to adjust your plan on need. Follow routines. Make use of whatever there is, IT, apps, to organize your work. Build a network, collaborate with other people, keep yourself updated, reward yourself. I mean, once you reach a milestone, celebrate it. Right? After all, you worked for it. It doesn't mean you need to spend a lot of money on it or anything. It can be anything that's meaningful for you, just as a self-motivation. Enjoy your life as a student. Even though PhD is hard work, it's maybe still less hard work than an actual working environment. So while you're a student, enjoy being a student, right? And there's a lot of things to enjoy. The research should be enjoyable, networking should be enjoyable, collaboration should be enjoyable, right? So yeah, don't miss out on that part. I think we have covered this, but maybe you want to add some more. Identify a behavior or a habit that you think is beneficial for you in successfully completing a PhD study on time. Well, we have here time management, stress management. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. I have a chat here. Being resourceful, discipline, mind and body wellness. Anything else? Confidence, yeah. Optimistic, strong attitude, right? I see all of those as more or less in the same direction. Huh? Time management, curiosity, absolutely. Healthy body, healthy mind, right? Should not forget our body. Don't stop until you reach your objective, right? So perseverance, is that right? Perseverance. Keep going also. Strong urge to finish what I've started. Okay, so that's again 3 things coming in, which is pretty much in the same direction. Perseverance. Punctuality, hard work, integrity, discipline. Very good. Be positive, never give up. Again, our consistency. Good. In bold letters, collaborate effectively and courteously with everyone. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Read every day. Very important. And play your favorite sport. Yes, to stay in a healthy body, right? What's your favorite sport? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to. It's basketball. Okay, very good. Well organized. Badminton. All right. Acquire new skills, for example, fast reading. All right. Running. I used to like mountain biking, but I have no time anymore. So sad. Because I play too much trumpet. I have no more time for sports. Okay. Those are the behaviors. So it was said just now, tools, passion. Yep, absolutely. Maybe you want to give me some new tools because these things move so fast, and usually younger people are more up to date than older people like me. So for our daily planning, we have Google Calendar, right? So our appointments, if they are made by email, they nearly automatically end up in the Google Calendar, which is good. We can make some color codes for that. You can keep a to-do list. For example, Google Keep. Maybe there are more examples. Project management tools such as Microsoft Project, Asana, Trello. Right? Then you have your storage. Google Drive, Dropbox, iCloud. And of course, the nice thing about all these things is that wherever you go, whether you're in the lab or in an office or at home, you can access the same files that you were working on. Journaling, day 1. I don't know that one. Bibliography, Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero. Writing, of course, there's Microsoft Word. There's also LaTeX. Overleaf is actually LaTeX, the online. There are free alternatives for Word, like LibreOffice. For the use of language, there are AI tools. Grammarly is, I think, based on AI. Plagiarism detection, we have Turnitin. The university still has a subscription to that. I think this is time management, Pomodoro timers. And a lot of the expensive software also has free open source software alternatives. Of course, the advantage is that you don't have to pay, and you may want to subscribe to the open software philosophy. Any tips for working candidates? In what sense, Venkatesh? Can we access to Turnitin? You have to, as far as I know, go through the library. Let me make a note. I think I may need to show you step by step how to access Turnitin through the library. How to achieve GOT. that may be very difficult if you're working. Let's be honest, because just now somebody said 8 hours of working on your PhD per day. If you're already working in industry or office, you already work 8 hours per day. 8 plus 8 is 16. I don't think so. You should be working 16 hours every day for 3.5 years. You're probably going to kill yourself, right? So that is very difficult. Yeah. It could be a bit better than that if there's a certain overlap between what you do for your PhD project and what you're doing in your workplace. In that case, it's not really 8 plus 8, right? If there's a certain overlap, maybe it is 8 plus 4 and it's 12 hours per day. That would be, I guess, manageable. But still, the writing part for your PhD work probably needs to be in your own time. I don't know how accommodating your workplace is. Yeah, that's really a big challenge. If I can ask, where do you work? I know there are more working people. King V is also working, but I've not seen his name come up today. King V, are you here? No, I guess not. Which industry or company? Yes, that was my question to you. Where you're working? Is it an office or are you working oil and gas? Is it in Kuala Lumpur? But yeah, you may be working. Other people may have a family. A family is also something that takes some of your time, right? And depending on the support of your family, it may be harder or easier to dedicate time and energy to your research project. KL, electrical power, PSI, okay. And is it related to your PhD research? Partly, okay. I don't know what tips I can give you just in general. Of course, I think you need to set some boundaries, make very clear agreement with your workplace that, okay, I'm doing this PhD, so that means I am available for this, I'm not available for that. This is how much time I need for my PhD study. Yeah, try to make that very clear agreement with your boss, with your workplace, because this is not a short-term thing, right? This is 3 years, so they need to really support that. And you can't get away with thinking I will quietly make some arrangement. You need to have it really secure. Ridwan also working multi-projects. That means project-based. Oil and gas, and still trying GOT. Very good. Yeah. Yeah. I know King V because he's my student. He is also working oil and gas with a family in Kuantan and still trying GOT. So it's good to be ambitious, right? Yeah. Okay. I hope that was a little bit helpful. And since there's a few of you who are in a somewhat similar situation, you can seek each other out, right? You can share some experiences, maybe. That's also part of your networking. All right. Where were we? Oh, yeah, the tools. So, are there any tools I missed? Or tools that you say, this is now outdated, nowadays we use something else? Then feel free to tell me, okay? Tips for a family man with kids. Actually, I think it is the same tip. You need to really set the boundary. You need to really discuss with your family, okay, this is how much time and energy I can spend on family. This is how much time and energy I need to really dedicate to PhD work. If that means, for example, you want to do your writing at home and you say, I want to write between such and such a time, maybe you need to make it a family rule, don't disturb me, right? I will spend all the time I have with my children, but not those hours that I'm writing. So try to make really clear thing. Because I have no experience, okay? I did not do my PhD when I was a family man with kids. But as I said, this is not a short-term thing. You're going to do this for a couple of years. So if you don't set rules, for example, your children will run into the room when you're writing, nothing good will come out of that, right? You cannot do the writing. You're going to be cranky at your kids. You're not going to give them the attention they need. Your children are going to be unhappy because you're not giving them attention. Nothing good. So better to make very clear agreement. Say, when I'm writing, you don't disturb me. Then everyone knows what's going on. And then when you stop writing, you can spend your full attention to your children because they also deserve that, right? I think, yeah, don't run away from that. Don't think that it will sort itself out, because maybe it won't. I don't know. Maybe it's a good tip, maybe it's not. You have to decide for yourself. Okay. Okay, so I'm not bombarded with new tools. Means I maybe don't need to update this slide so much. I hope it's helpful, Asman. I cannot. Yeah. I don't know what else. Okay. Right. So nearing the end of today's session, even though we have a few more students to present. Starting from now, we want to work on the report that we need at the end of the semester. Okay, so there is not really a template for this. One of the previous lecturers who had this course tried to make a template. It didn't really work, so we done away with the template. No need, because we all know what a report looks like anyway. So not required a template. I don't want to overburden anyone with having to write a 60-page report in week 13, so we can start now. And you add these items now. Research title, well, you have that, right? You can add something about yourself and give some information on the research. So this is all very general, right? The more specific things will come in later weeks. So this is just for you. This week you make your document and you get version 1 with some very general things in there. It doesn't, maybe just 1 page, right? And that should be enough. Okay. So then we have, still not filling the page. We have I forgot your name. Who recognizes this slide? About yourself for my students info short pen. Ah, yeah, Reason. It's yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, honey. We let Region present first. Go ahead.
Okay. So Professor Hans, I'm presenting now.
Yes, present now, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to present my research on the effects on polymer concentration on the oil-water separation performance of electron-spin nanofiber membranes. The first one is about introduction. The first picture is about oily wastewater. The second picture is membrane separation technology. The third one is electron spinning pre-sample. Okay, oil spills and industrial wastewater are serious environmental issues. Electron spin nanofiber membranes are a promising solution for oil-water separation due to their high surface area and tolerable properties. And the second part is problem statement. Well-covered research often focuses on material sanction. Critical gap remains the systematic understanding of how polymer concentration dictates the membrane's structure and united ultimately its separation performance. This study addressed this gap by investigating 3 common polymers: the PO, PMMA, and the CA, and it has 3 specific concentrations: 8% and 10% and 18%. So I want to get which membrane is the best for oil-water separation performance, and which concentration is best for oil-water separation performance. And the third part is research aim and objectives. The aim is so systematically understand how polymer concentration affects the separation performance. So has 3 objectives respectively. The research objective 1 is to determine the optimal performer for oil-water separation from PO, PMMA, and CA, and to explain the underlying rationale. The second one is to evaluate the effect of 3 specific concentrations: 8%, 10%, and OSC has wrong. It should be 18% on key performance metrics: fiber morphology, weightability, and separation efficiency, to identify the optimal concentration for each material. And the third one is to investigate the universal principle by which polymer concentration affects separation performance. The fourth part is methodology. The methodology includes membrane fabrication via electron spinning, and the characterization of morphology and breathability. And the next one is performance evaluation of oil water separation. The last one is data analysis to draw conclusions, and attach some pictures to explain this process. Okay, thank you for listening. That's all on me.
Right, thank you. Very nice slide, just one slide, but everything is there. Introduction, problem statement, very good. Research aim. So that's very good. Research objective 1, determine the optimal polymer, which polymer is best, right? So very specific. And then and to explain the underlying rationale, because it's PhD research, right? You cannot just pick and choose. You need to have some scientific content. I think that's why you added this. And then evaluate the effect of these three concentrations. That means the concentration of polymer during the spinning, right? During the electrospinning, or is it something else?
Yes.
Okay.
Electron spinning, I think it's a solutions concentration.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So then for each of those three materials, you identify the optimum concentration. All right. If you do this during your proposal defense, surely your moderators are going to ask why 8, 12, and 18. Is there any reason? But okay, for now, we won't leave that. So yeah, to evaluate, again, is a good keyword, right? Because you're really going to target what number that is. Then the third, to investigate. Investigate is always a bit of a problematic keyword, okay? Because we don't really know what is the outcome of investigate. What should be the outcome of research objective 3? The outcome should be that you understand which principle it is, right? So maybe better to write something like to determine.
Oh yeah,
because
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be modified. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But other than that, that's good. And then your methodology also looks very clear, right? It seems you know exactly what you want to do. So that's very good. I don't know where you got this logo here at the right bottom.
From a online website. I just
Yes.
research event.
You just Google University of Malaya logo, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So don't
I'm
do
not sure
that.
if it's out of date.
It is very outdated.
Oh.
That's why I asked. So we have
Okay.
in one of the websites, I think it is your Maya portal, if I'm not mistaken, you have a brand toolkit. So if you need to make a presentation, you find this brand toolkit. It has logo in every size, standing or horizontal, banner, whatever you need is there, right? If the university changes the styling, you can find it there. So if you search Google doesn't know about that. It just gives you whichever is popular, which is in this case a very old one. So
yeah. Okay.
take care of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Also for other people, please. All right.
Yeah.
But very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
We were supposed to have 2 more, but they did not submit until at least half an hour ago when I checked. So Raslan was supposed to present today. Is there, Raslan, are you here? Thank you, Li Hua. There it is. Raslan is not here. Okay. So I need to reschedule him. And Tanzil or Rahman, you were also, I've seen your name in the chat a number of times. You were supposed to present. Are you here? Meanwhile, Hani, about yourself. Yeah. Means just your name, your matrix number, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm not asking for personal details, okay? So that would not be appropriate anyway, right? So just what you normally see on title page, your name, your registration number, PhD candidate in what department, etc. Okay. So Tanzil, you want to present?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, sir. I want to present my presentation
But you did
about
not submit
my.
your slide. You did not submit your slide.
Sir, I submitted, but today I submitted.
Okay, so I checked at
Yes, sir.
about 10:30. Then you did not. So it means really,
Okay, sir.
really last minute, huh? Yes, now I see it.
Yeah, yes, sir.
No. Nee, is Tina Garan. Hold on. This one. Just a moment now.
Okay, sir.
Should be, which one is it now? Tanzil. 6 slides. Okay, go ahead. You see it now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. My PhD topic is basically about the energy management in the academic buildings, and specifically the buildings which located in the tropical climates. So in the tropical climates, we have the high temperatures and high humidity. And specifically in the tropical climates, usually we face the high temperature and high humidity. To overcome on this, we are required continuous HVAC operation, which use a lot of energy, and there is no proper framework or solution to overcome on this situation. So my research is about to enable a framework for academic buildings to conserve energy, and also to surplus to generate renewable energies. So can you move to the next slide, sir? Yes, okay, sir. As I told you, sir, the humidity is about 80 to 85% in the tropical climates. And also the energy consumption is about 60 to 70% in the tropical climates. So in the sustainable development goals, we are there is a lack of the renewable energies input in the tropical climates. So my framework, which I proposed, is basically consist on smart control, renewable energies input, and AI-based automation. So it will lead, it will contribute in the carbon neutrality goals, which is internationally by United Nations, and many countries are contributing in this. So this is my motivation. Okay, sir. This is my objectives: to analyze energy consumption patterns and solar generation potential in tropical academic buildings. So first I will have to analyze the energy consumptions, how much load is required in academic building, and in the weekdays, 5 days during the daytime, usually all classes are operational. So I will analyze in the simulation all the load patterns. And my second objective is to design and development smart energy management system prototype for real-time monitoring and automated control of lighting and HVAC system. So in this, I will design a prototype which sends the load requirements, and it will control automatically on the basis of occupancy and on the basis of the requirement. My third objective is to integrate net metering logic into the smart energy management system framework to manage surplus solar energy utilized under Malaysia Net Energy Metering 3.0 policy. So this is the policy currently implementing in the different residential houses from Malaysian government. If you have the solar panels or renewable energies on your house, so you can feed the grid surplus energy. So in the academic building, in the daily use, if we use on the daily basis in the daytime, so you can utilize our solar production, but on the weekends, on the semester break and the vacation, we can feed back the surplus supply to the grid that can be used in the commercial activities and other. Just because in the weekends and the holidays, the academic institutions are usually closed. And my fourth objective is to evaluate system performance through simulation and prototype testing, focusing on AI forecasting accuracy, energy saving, automation effectiveness, and economic feasibility. So in the last, I will give the economical solutions. So my methodology is data collection and analysis. So first I will collect the solar irradiance and temperature, load profiles, and occupancy data. In the second phase, I will simulate PV grid load models in the MATLAB. And I will compare the rule-based. Usually, currently in all the academic buildings and all the control, rule-based are used. But AI prediction, this is the leg of the smart energy management system. And phase 3, I will implement a prototype with different microcontrollers and different sensors. And in the phase 4, I will evaluate the performance of all the system. So research gaps are the existing studies focus on either on solar PV or occupancy control, not integrated solution. Usually, many studies focus on just solar generation, renewable generation, but not integrated with the smart control and AI-based predictive controls. So the second gap, which I feel is AI-based predictive energy management, is really applied to the academic buildings in tropical climate, rarely. So basically, the AI-based predictive energy management is the need of current academic buildings, which can be conserve energy and also support to the grids. Most simulation do not include net metering. So in the academic building specifically, net metering is not used anywhere, specifically in Malaysia and any tropical climate. So I will add this one. And there is no comprehensive framework combining AI, IoT, solar PV grid interaction to reduce energy consumption and carbon, and to reduce carbon emissions. So that's all. Thank you, sir, for hearing me.
All right, thank you. Oh, where was I? Let's go back to the beginning. Yeah, normally we start with actually reading our title. Just a small comment, but don't start your presentation with "my research is basically on something," right?
Okay.
Better to keep it a little bit formal. AI-enabled smart energy management, and there's no system because your abbreviation is SEMS, or the last S is
Yes.
for solar optimization. Okay.
Yes, sir.
For academic buildings in tropical climates. Okay, so this is all the well-known things. So you have your introduction. So I don't know, because on your first slide you say we have 60 to 70% humidity, and on this next slide it's already 80 to 85.
Sir, this is humidity basically.
Yeah. No, you see what I mean? Here you say 60 to 70%. And on your next
Yeah.
slide, you say 80 to 85 because you have taken it
Okay.
from a different source, right? So
Yes,
be
sir. Yes.
a little bit careful about that kind of thing. It looks funny.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your background. And then actually we should go to the research gap, right? So your research gap is, we have kind of separate either PV or occupancy control,
Yes, sir.
not integrated. Okay, AI is not applied.
Yes, sir.
Why is AI not? What's the problem of applying AI?
Basically, currently the control is rule based. If there is a
Yeah,
temperature raise, yeah,
I
and if
see.
yes,
Okay,
but AI
AI,
will
yeah, AI.
AI will AI will predict how much potential we have to produce the solar energy, and what is the weather patterns and what are the
Mm,
load patterns. So it will merge both the load and the generation, and also it will feed integrated with the grid in the surplus for the surplus
mm,
energy. Yeah, yeah.
mm. So actually 2, 3, and 4 more or less go together, right? Because now you
Yes,
already
sir.
say you want to have this integration and also
Yes, sir.
the other integration. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, actually your research gap is good, but what's missing is your problem statement. Yeah. You have no problem statement.
Um,
So your problem statement is okay, okay. These things have not been studied yet, right? That's your research gap.
yes, yes,
But
sir.
if you want to implement this AI, why can't we do it?
Okay.
Why do we need your PhD study for that? Right? That's the problem statement. What is holding
Yes, sir.
it back?
Okay,
So
sir.
I'm not criticizing you. You don't have to. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
So you want to identify um, what is the technical issue holding back the AI implementation in this case, or machine learning, whatever it is. Okay, because
Okay, sir.
that will tell you what research you need to do to overcome that. Right? That's the purpose of the problem statement. So then we
Okay,
go
sir.
to your objectives. The first one, to analyze energy consumption pattern and solar generation potential. Is this a literature-based analysis, or you're going to do measurements for that?
No, sir, I will simulate the energy consumption patterns in the solar generator generation.
Simulate, you say analyze.
Yeah, I will analyze. Analyze by simulation.
What's going to be the input for your simulation?
The weather data and the load patterns of different institutions.
Okay, so I think
Yes.
solar generation potential
Yes, sir.
is well known, right?
Yes, sir.
So I don't know whether you can add anything new to that. Energy consumption pattern, but you want to have it specific for academic buildings, right? So
Yes, sir.
yes, maybe that is something you need to find out. Okay, I can understand. And anyway, analyze is a good keyword.
Yes,
Then you want to design and build basically the prototype.
yes, sir.
Okay, so this is AI based,
Yes, sir.
but the word AI does not come into the objective. So maybe it should, because you need to develop this AI, right?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a key thing of the research. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So maybe it should be reflected in the objectives then. So what the input for the AI is going to be the general weather pattern, the general energy production consumption pattern,
Yes,
Are there
sir.
also some real-time inputs in there?
Yes, sir. Real-time inputs, and also it will be integrated with the net metering for surplus energy feedback to the grid.
That's three. I was still on two.
Yes.
So what kind of AI model that you propose to make?
I will use the artificial neural networks and the LSTM, long short-term memory. So I will use these two tools, and I will integrate the system with the help of this.
Okay, so those are fairly
Yeah.
standard machine learning tools, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and then so you have your inputs as the current usage. The patterns that you have from one is more used to train the network, or is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then you have control of the lighting and HVAC systems. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then you want to integrate. So this is for deliver back to the net, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So design is a good keyword. Integrate. So it's very, very targeted. Huh? Evaluate. Yeah. So your keywords are all there, all good.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know. I would think make it a bit more clear in the objective that how this prototype should work. And then you have your methodology. That one is clear. Okay. Actually, you're going to do both. You're going to make a rule-based and an AI-based.
Yeah. Yes, sir. My
So
system,
yeah.
the prototype and all the simulation are basically interconnected with the four main things. First, the solar generation. Second, the load management. Third one is the grid feedback with the net metering. And the fourth one is basically automation.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Now my question was, you're going to do both. You're going to make a rule-based and an AI-based so that you can compare afterward. Or the rule-based
Yes.
already exists.
Rule-based already exists, yes. But AI-based is rarely used, and specifically when it comes to academic buildings, so there is no predictive control scenarios and a framework which is operated through artificial intelligence.
What's the difference between an academic building and, let's say, a general office building?
General office building is a little bit similar to the academic building, but if we compare it with the commercial and the residential, so it is different just because on the weekend usually commercial activities are on the high and energy demand is on the high, and usually on the weekends and the vacations the academic buildings are closed, so we have the potential to generate electricity through the academic buildings and feed it to the commercial buildings. So that's why I considered the academic building. Secondly, sir, there is a lack of research in the academic buildings for the solar generation and the grid feed.
Yeah, but I feel you're not really answering the question because we have a lot of office buildings around. Those are not commercial in the sense of shopping malls. Those are same like academic buildings, right? Office buildings open 8 or 9 in the morning. They close 5 or 6 in the evening.
Yes,
And night times, weekends, they are basically empty.
yes, sir.
So
But the nighttime we cannot produce solar energy.
I understand that.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
is there anything that sets academic buildings apart from general office, or is it just it's more like we do a case study, so we do it for academic buildings?
Yes, sir. I just basically focus the academic building, but the offices are also be considered. This framework it can also be implemented on the offices. Yes.
All right. Okay. ESP32. I have no idea what that is. Okay, and then you do the comparison between the scenarios.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir. Yes. Sir.
All right. Good. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We go back to my slides. It's nearly finished. Don't worry. We finish on time today. Where was I? Here. So basically done. Thank you very much for listening. But before you go or after you go, take some moment to reflect what did we discuss today? What are the important points for you, for your study? Right? Don't switch off and that was it. Just let it flow through your mind throughout the day or the week. Right? That's the reflection part. That's it. These were my slides for today. There was a question just now in the chat. So, Homin, for research report for this course, right? You submit somewhere towards the end of the semester. I will put all the dates for submission later. So for now, you start your report document with what I said just now, the title, the personal information, and some research information. You don't need to submit that yet. Okay. You can just keep it to yourself until a later date. If you want to change your title midway, it depends a little bit on what kind of change we are talking about. If you just have some very minor change, like a grammar change or something, then it's absolutely not an issue. You can just do that during title confirmation. But if you want to go into a new field, especially, then you need to go to the Deputy Dean's office and ask them for a form, because you need to fill a form, have your supervisor agreement, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I don't know what kind of change that you are thinking of. But if it is a significant change, and especially if it has to do with changing the NEC code, right, the engineering code, then you need to go through the formal way and settle that with the Deputy Dean's office. All right? Okay. Any further questions? Last minute? If not, then thank you very much for today. It was, I think it was a good discussion. We had some good ideas, even though you did not give me any new modern tools that I can add to the slide. But okay, still, thank you very much. For those who have to present next week, please submit one single slide. Okay, I'm not going to include more than one slide. So if you submit more than one slide, I'm just going to skip you. All right, please understand, one single slide. I didn't any AI tools in the slide. What do you mean, Venkatesh? I do not understand. Yes, honey, that's a good summary. One slide PDF. Thank you so much. Venkatesh, I do not understand your comment about AI tools in the slide. Oh, you want me to add that? Okay, give me the name of the tool that you want to add. Then I will add it.